Hi, my name is Mike. I'm an alcoholic. Oh, wrong page. I'm Mike Forsyth. I'm the team leader from K4T. About 18 months ago, let's see where we're going here. I called Martha and I said, hey, I noticed all the DXpeditions, they usually all they have is a handheld antenna and a walkie. And she goes, yeah. And I said, well, I'm going to do the largest satellite DXpedition that's ever been done. And she said, yeah, sure. Here, let me give you some numbers. And I think she tried to get rid of me. Well, 13 months of planning, we finally did it, and we pulled it off. And this is what we're going to talk about today, as to how to integrate it and kind of change the face of DXpeditions and have a more positive exposure of satellite operations within them. When we put this together, I was fortunate enough that one of our team members, I said, you put the whole team together, but I get one card, and that's to pull one person. Well, my ace in the hole was Mark Hammond. I figured if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. It took me 8 minutes to get him on board, and it kind of went from there. I said, here's the deal. I'll get you all the equipment there, and I'll get you everything you need, and I'll get you the sponsorships, and the rest of it's yours. And by God, he pulled it off. The most single important thing, 80% of the work, is planning. When I went to the team and I said, hey, okay, we're going to start. It's 13 months off. We need to start and go fast. They said, 13 months? You don't need 13 months. I'll tell you, at 2 o'clock in the morning before we left, we were still packing. It is all the work in the planning. One of the biggest issues we had, because we kind of incorporated a couple of other things that I'm going to briefly go over, is we wanted to involve youth, and we wanted to do it 100% green power. And that's all the stations. That was a sideband, CW, 2 satellite stations, computers, inverters, lighting, everything, 100% green power for 4.5 days. The other issue we had was with the Park Service. Unfortunately, there had been a bad event down there with another group. It took them 8 months to get a permit. I actually made a preemptive trip down there and kind of smoothed things out. Their 2-page application turned out to be a 21-page submission by me because we had done some things that had never been done. It's a big bird sanctuary down there, and I said I want to put up a wind turbine, and you can imagine how well that went over. And matter of fact, I got a call from the wildlife biologist in DC, and he says, I see here, Mr. Forsyth, that you have a submission that you've made a bird-safe wind turbine. What is that? And being me, I said, that's the opposite of bird dangerous. Well, he wanted a little more detail than that, so I gave it to him how I engineered this and what we went through with the manufacturer and everything. We were able to pull off the application in 8 days versus 8 months. So it really worked out pretty well. It took us 6 weekends of prep setups to make sure we had everything. The next biggest thing is the team. I cannot emphasize enough, having the right team makes all the difference in the world. Basically, I took the usual DX component of an HF team and I converted them to the dark side. Out of this, most of them didn't know you could even do CW on the birds. And 4 of them have actively been involved since then. One of them still looks for my head on a platter because his son was one of the youth we took, and his checkbook has been screaming ever since. These were our team members. Oh, that's nice. I'd like to know how that calligraphy got in there. Well, so much for their call signs. These were the team members. That wasn't how it got downloaded, I can tell you. That was his conversion. Now, if anybody can figure that out, I've got $100 for him. This was our team members. There was 9 of us. The one I saved for last, this is Max here. Max is a 14-year-old. I'm sorry, I have to move around. And we wanted to get youth involved, and there was a condition to having him involved in this, because usually youth isn't involved in the expeditions because of cost, logistics, getting them out of school. Well, the school agreed to let him have out if we could tutor him in his studies and if we could have responsible people tutoring. Well, that didn't include how to consume rum, which was our major concern. Fortunately, one of the things of those that you that don't know Mark Hammond, he's Dean of Arts and Sciences for Campbell University. So I had the perfect tutor, not to mention 3 engineers, 2 attorneys, a doctor, and whatever else you can throw. So it worked out really well. He learned how to deal with certain groups that tend to be intense on the radio, and I think it's cost his dad about $3,000 in satellite equipment since then. The reason that we wanted him in it is the youth is our future. We go out and we do things, but we're not building on the future. And that's why we want every single event we do. Our club is Outdoor Adventures, Amateur Radio Outdoor Adventures. Everything we do is outdoors. Everything we do involves youth. So we make sure we get them out there. So what did we achieve? In 4.5 days, did we achieve our goal of what I wanted to do? As far as equipment of what we took down there for the satellite operations, we took 2 full-blown stations. You'll see a picture here in a minute. One with the M2 setup here. One that had preamps, polarity switches, the whole 9 yards. The other one was a pair of egg beaters with preamps. In 4.5 days, we managed 441 contacts and 127 grids. On top of that, we did simultaneous bands, simultaneous bird passes, just everything we could to get on there. And one of the things that, and we did this all on green power. Now, what kind of made that doable is we kind of built a hybrid wind turbine here that at its peak performance, we did a 10-year trend, put out 32 amps of power, recharging power. The second thing we did is we went with 1,400 amp hours of battery power with some prototype batteries, which, just so for the record, because I got the emails, we pre-charged with solar panels. We didn't use them, so when I say it's green power, it was truly green power. We designed this thing where the setup time took 11 minutes. From the time we yanked it out of a bag till we had it up making power was 11 minutes. It made power 100% of the time minus 14 minutes and 20 seconds. It made so much power, we brought 900 watts of solar panels with us that we never even took out of the box. And this was a station, you see the 2 910s, this is when we were setting it up. We ended up having 3 computers there when it was all done and over with. Plus, that wasn't enough. You got to have a good view when you're going to go and work these. If you notice here the LED light up there, these were some prototype LED lights. We used 4 of them within the tent to light up all 4 stations. It drew less than 30 milliamps and lit it up like a Christmas tree. It was also a consideration that they had to be directional so that we didn't interfere with the migration and the breeding of these birds. So once again, it was some of the stuff we had to deal with. This is some of the nighttime operations. In this particular one, Mark's sitting here. I wish I could have got the video. This program wouldn't accept it. He's at 1 degree working sideband while Vic's working CW on the same pass. So it really worked out well. To tell you how they jumped on it, when he did his band plan, the HF band plan for this event was 1 page on our website. When Mark got done with it, it was like 6 pages. He got off the boat while we started working. He grabbed Pete here. They jumped on a pallet and started working until we could get the primary station set up. So we worked on the boat going out, on the boat going back, and we tried to give you all every opportunity we could. The important thing is that I tried to do a top 10 list of what makes satellite, when I go out there and try and promote it, preferable. And, you know, I get into this battle with some of the HF and everything, and I said, well, here's the bottom line in the checkmate. I don't need a top 10 list. I've got one. Since we have predetermined propagation, guess what? We have predetermined drinking time that they don't. So it worked out really, really well. We do have a 10-minute video of the whole thing out on YouTube. You just type in K4T, it'll be the first thing that comes up. If you want to know more about the power and how we did it, if you go out to our website and send me an email, I'll be glad to help you out. One of the other big things that it wasn't actually in one of the pictures, is I don't know if you've ever heard of these power boosters. The ones we used were by TG Electronics. I will tell you they're the cat's meow. What they allowed us to do is they'll let you take any voltage down to 9 volts and put 15 volts out, and it's rock solid. We did a lot of data recording for the wind turbine company, and with data recorders and all this. And we went down, the lowest we went down was about 11.1 volts, but still we held the 13.8 volts that we programmed, and it didn't deviate a tenth of a volt, even at full power. The ICOMs tend to be a little sensitive to power issues, so it really, really worked out well. We also proved that you can do green power. The National Park Service is doing a huge article on it, including a couple solar magazines and some other renewables and things like that. So, sorry, I wish I had more time and I could go into more detail, but that's kind of the summation, and I thank you for your time. And hopefully it set the standard for DXpeditions in the future. Thank you.